Alright folks, so Phoozy sent me this can cooler for free in return for me doing a review. And so that's what I'm going to do. Supposedly this is a step beyond when it comes to can coolers. It says it's the space suit for your cans. So anyway, and we ordered a pink one because Laura likes pink. Alright, so far it looks like a can cooler. It's kind of a nylon cloth. It does have a bottom on it. Instead of being a solid bottom, it's a just got a couple straps across there like elastic straps. Oh, and this is elastic, so I guess you can hold it like a coffee cup if you wanted to. And that's pretty much it. So the question is this going to work any better than a normal can koozie? It's Phoozy instead of a koozie. So, you know, it's not different size. It's kind of the same as any other can koozie, except it's supposed to keep your stuff. It's got made from patented spacesuit insulation to keep your drinks colder longer. So we're going to put that to the test. This is made for a 12-ounce standard can. So we're going to get out a regular koozie and then this koozie, put a couple cold beverages in there, put some thermometers in them, and test them and see if this actually keeps my my beverage cooler longer than a regular koozie. All right, I stand corrected. This is not an elastic strap. It is a anti-gravity elastic hand strap, and we have chromium thermal barrier insulation. So fancy. It's got a QR code here you can check out for all of the features. Spacesuit for your can, 4 layers of patented spacesuit insulation materials. Wonderful. Alright folks, to do our temperature test, I've got a regular koozie here. I've got the Phoozy. And just to make things interesting, I got this thing. It's filled with liquid that you put in the freezer and keeps your can cool that way. Now, the only problem is it's difficult to take this with you camping if you don't have access to a freezer somewhere. You know, it's not going to work very good. But just to keep things interesting, because this is going to be below the starting temperature of my my tea here. But at any rate, so I've got 3 cans of 12-ounce cans of tea, and we're going to, these have all been in the fridge. I just took them out. We're going to put these in each one of the coolers, and I've got a thermometer here that goes from 0 up, so we should be able to measure this, and we'll measure this, I don't know, every 20-30 minutes and see which one stays the coldest the longest. And then I've got a score sheet where we'll keep track of the temperatures. This is stiffer. It's much easier to get the can in the koozie, Phoozy. Much easier to get it in the Phoozy than it is the koozie. I'm not sure exactly what you call this thing, but I'm just going to call it the frozen koozie. And alright, so we got all 3 cans in there. We're going to measure the temp. They should all be exactly the same because they all just came out of the fridge. Alright, it looks like that has stopped moving at about 41 degrees. And this one might actually get a little colder because, again, it was in the freezer. Alright, so we're going to call these 40 degrees, and we'll come back and check these in about 20 minutes. Alright, so after 20 minutes, the frozen can has not dropped any, and the Phoozy has not dropped any, and the koozie has not dropped any. Alright, so since nothing's dropped in 20 minutes, I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes and check it then. Alright, so it's been another 30 minutes. We're starting at about 68 degrees room temperature in case you're interested. Alright, so we've gone from 68 to 50, maybe 48. Looks like it's holding steady there, right around 48 degrees. Maybe 47. We'll call that 47. You know, I think we're probably 46 degrees there. Maybe 45. Call that 45. So 47, 45. And this one's still at 40. Again, that one's coming out of the freezer. And as a matter of fact, it's probably more like 37. So it's actually gotten colder. Alright, so I'm going to set my my watch for another 30 minutes. Alright, so we're at an hour and 20 minutes. Looks like the temperature has stabilized for the Phoozy right at 50 degrees. Now for the Phoozy, it's definitely below 50. It looks like it might be 46. So it has stabilized at 46. It's only raised 1 degree in the last 30 minutes. And now we'll try the spoiler here. Our ringer below 40. Looks like it's at 38. Alright, so we'll check back in another 30 minutes. Alright, so it has now been an hour and 50 minutes since we started this experiment. And the regular koozie looks like it's stabilized at 54 degrees. Alright, so the Phoozy is stabilized at 50 degrees. And our frozen cooler, and it's still at about 38. Alright, we'll do another 30 minutes. Alright, so we are at 2 hours and 20 minutes. And our regular koozie is at 56 degrees. Our Phoozy is colder than that. And looks like it's stabilized at 52 degrees. And our polar bear cup is at 39. Alright, another 30 minutes. So it has been 2 hours and 50 minutes. And we're still cooler than room temperature. Not by a whole lot. Alright, so this is 58 in the regular koozie. At least 56. Let's call that 56 degrees for the Phoozy. And we're probably at 41 degrees. Yeah, we'll call that 41 degrees frozen koozie. Alright, we'll do one more reading in another 30 minutes and then we'll call this quit. Alright, so we're at 3 hours and 20 minutes. And the regular koozie is at 60 degrees. Check our Phoozy. I think we're at 57. And then our nice little polar bear koozie there. And it's finally starting to warm up a little bit. It's been at 40 quite a while now, and it's up to 45 and a half. Let's call it 45. Alright, so there we go. Now again, the thing to remember about this is, you know, a regular koozie, you can fold that up. You can fold that up and put it in your back pocket pretty easily. It's easy to carry. Goes pretty much anywhere. The Phoozy, the advantage you got is you got a handle. It's a little stiffer. I guess you could fold that up and put it in your pocket, but it's nowhere near as soft. It's a lot firmer than the regular koozie. But it does keep the drinks colder. And then, of course, this thing, you cannot fold that up and put it in your back pocket. It's hard as a rock, basically because it's ice. And you can, I don't know if you can see inside there, but it's the liquid is still frozen in this thing. And you know, it takes a long time for this to freeze up in the freezer, so you can't just decide you want to have a cold one and this thing not be ready. It has to have been in the freezer, and then like I said, once it's in there, it's going to keep your beverage cold for a long time, but again, not very portable. So there you go. That's our evaluation of our Phoozy with its competitors.